Ignite your creativity with the inspiring words of Pablo Picasso, a master of self-expression and courage. His quotes push us to embrace our passions and break boundaries. Let these powerful insights motivate you to see the world through a new lens and create boldly. The purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. Everything you can imagine is real. Colors, like features, follow the changes of the emotions. Action is the foundational key to all success. Some painters transform the sun into a yellow spot. Others transform a yellow spot into the sun. Who sees the human face correctly? The photographer, the mirror, or the painter? Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone. Good artists copy. Great artists steal. If there were only one truth, you couldn't paint 100 canvases on the same theme. Love is the greatest refreshment. In every positive value has its price in negative terms. The genius of Einstein leads to Hiroshima. All children are artists. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up. The artist is a receptacle for emotions that come from all over the place. From the sky, from the earth, from a scrap of paper, from a passing shape, from a spider's web. There is no abstract art. You must always start with something. Afterward, you can remove all traces of reality. Art is a lie that makes us realize truth. Computers are useless. They can only give you answers. I begin with an idea, and then it becomes something else. We don't grow older, we grow riper. Art is the elimination of the unnecessary. To copy others is necessary, but to copy oneself is pathetic. It is your work in life that is the ultimate seduction. Others have seen what is and asked why. I have seen what could be and asked why not. We all know that art is not truth. Art is a lie that makes us realize the truth, at least the truth that is given to us to understand. God is really only another artist. He invented the giraffe, the elephant, and the cat. He has no real style. He just goes on trying other things. Success is dangerous. One begins to copy oneself, and to copy oneself is more dangerous than to copy others. It leads to sterility. The older you get, the stronger the wind gets, and it's always in your face. The more technique you have, the less you have to worry about it. The more technique there is, the less there is. Are we to paint what's on the face, what's inside the face, or what's behind it? When I was a child, my mother said to me, "If you become a soldier, you'll be a general. If you become a monk, you'll end up as the Pope." Instead, I became a painter and wound up as Picasso. When you start with a portrait and search for a pure form, a clear volume, through successive eliminations, you arrive inevitably at the egg. Likewise, starting with the egg and following the same process in reverse, one finishes with the portrait. If all the ways I have been along were marked on a map and joined up with a line, it might represent a minotaur. It took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child. I'd like to live as a poor man with lots of money. I'm always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. It takes a long time to become young. My mother said to me, "If you are a soldier, you will become a general. If you are a monk, you will become the Pope." Instead, I was a painter and became Picasso. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. Painting is just another way of keeping a diary. Every act of creation is first an act of destruction. There are only 2 types of women, goddesses and doormats. Youth has no age. I paint objects as I think them, not as I see them. The world today doesn't make sense, so why should I paint pictures that do? I do not seek, I find. Give me a museum, and I'll fill it. Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. The chief enemy of creativity is good sense. Never permit a dichotomy to rule your life, a dichotomy in which you hate what you do so you can have pleasure in your spare time. Look for a situation in which your work will give you as much happiness as your spare time. Inspiration exists, but it has to find us working. He can who thinks he can, and he can't who thinks he can't. This is an inexorable, indisputable law. I don't believe in accidents. There are only encounters in history. There are no accidents. Everything is a miracle. It is a miracle that one does not dissolve in one's bath like a lump of sugar. Art is the lie that enables us to realize the truth. Painting is a blind man's profession. He paints not what he sees, but what he feels, what he tells himself about what he has seen. The genius of Einstein leads to Hiroshima. Work is a necessity for man. Man invented the alarm clock. Art is not the application of a canon of beauty, but what the instinct and the brain can conceive beyond any canon. When we love a woman, we don't start measuring her limbs to finish a work, to finish a picture. What nonsense. To finish it means to be through with it, to kill it, to rid it of its soul, to give it its final blow, the coup de grace, for the painter as well as for the picture. You have to have an idea of what you're going to do, but it should be a vague idea. To draw, you must close your eyes and sing. Sculpture is the best comment that a painter can make on painting. To make oneself hated is more difficult than to make oneself loved. I have a horror of people who speak about the beautiful. What is the beautiful? One must speak of problems in painting. An idea is a point of departure, and no more. As soon as you elaborate it, it becomes transformed by thought. The people who make art their business are mostly imposters. One must act in painting as in life, directly. Sculpture is the art of the intelligence. You mustn't always believe what I say. Questions tempt you to tell lies, particularly when there is no answer. Is there anything more dangerous than sympathetic understanding? One does a whole painting for one peach, and people think just the opposite. That particular peach is but a detail. If only we could pull out our brain and use only our eyes. When I die, it will be a shipwreck, and as when a huge ship sinks, many people all around will be sucked down with it. We must not discriminate between things. Where things are concerned, there are no class distinctions. We must pick out what is good for us where we can find it. Why do two colors put one next to the other sing? Can one really explain this? No, just as one can never learn how to paint. Disciples be damned. It's not interesting. It's only the masters that matter. Those who create. They ought to put out the eyes of painters as they do goldfinches, in order that they can sing better. What is a face, really? Its own photo, its makeup. Or is it a face as painted by such or such painter? That which is in front, inside, behind, and the rest. Doesn't everyone look at himself in his own particular way? Deformations simply do not exist. What might be taken for a precocious genius is the genius of childhood. When the child grows up, it disappears without a trace. It may happen that this boy will become a real painter someday, or even a great painter. But then he will have to begin everything again, from zero. Thanks you for watching.